The days of retiring from a company, I don't want to say it's long gone, but
It is.
the
No, 'cause
company
it is.
But we got a retiree
But it
company.
is. Yeah.
It is.
My mom didn't have a lot, but she had a lot. And so I learned from a real early age with her, it really doesn't matter how much money you have. It's really what you do with it.
Yeah.
I really don't know how she did it. She always made something out of nothing. And I mean, that's a slang language that we say all the time, but like truthfully, she did.
This is Legra.
This is Stephanie.
This is Cherie.
And this is Ivania.
And this is Timeless and Unfiltered, where we are spilling the tea on midlife, one laugh at a time. This is Timeless and Unfiltered, you guys. This
Keeping
is
it real.
Legra.
This is Stephanie.
This is Cherise.
This is Ivania.
And we got Stephanie over here putting her boobs in people's ears. I don't know what we doing.
Not just people now.
Not everybody.
I want to get a chair. You get a
Oh,
titty. You get a titty. You hear me?
Y'all so crazy. Y'all so crazy. We gonna spill the tea on midlife.
One laugh at a time.
That's how I gotta ring them back in, y'all. Let me throw something out there. Ring them back in. Ring them back in.
Pre-conversation before we start.
Yes. Oh, if y'all can really hear half the conversations we have.
Fun.
Half the conversations
Rated
we
R.
have. We have to try to make sure we have conversations that we can air.
Right.
Because a lot of them we can't. But what are we talking about today, y'all?
Oh, surviving this economy.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The struggles in this economy. Midlife in this economy.
Well, you brought this up, so let's go.
People being laid off. I've noticed a trend on social
Well,
media.
you've been laid off.
I know.
Yeah.
2 times in 2 years. And it's like, what just happened? The days of retiring from a company, I don't want to say it's long gone, but
It is.
the
No, because
company
It is.
But we got a retiree
But it
company.
is. Yeah.
rare.
It is. It's not. And I had been at this company for 10 years, and that was the longest I held a job. And I was like, I'm just going to retire. And I had really planned on just staying there and retiring. And then they said, yeah, 156 of y'all, we're letting you go. And we're like, what? So I've noticed a trend on social media of people in midlife being let go from their jobs that they've had 30 years, 25 years. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
What do you do?
What do you do? All you can do is try to pick up the pieces, but it's hard. I see now the good thing that I will say is that you can work for yourself at this point. You can Uber,
It's
DoorDash.
easier now than any
There's
other time.
something to do to kind of tide you over in between. We didn't have that back in the day, but I really don't remember a lot of layoffs happening back then. But yeah, it's hard for people that are being laid off. And I just want to say this economy is hard on people, period, because you have an influx of gas prices, food prices have increased. And then what I realize is I feel like my young adults are in my pockets a little more. And what I have to take into consideration, they're not really making enough to be able to sustain.
They
They
cannot.
moved out on their own and they're like, oh gosh, of course they didn't anticipate the prices of gas going up, food going up. So like, Mom, can you spot me 20? Can you spot? And I'm like, geez, so I'm having to do more for them as if they were like still in the house. And so that's taken away from my plan. And I'm just like, this is just crazy.
Yeah, but economy affects you too, so they have to
It
understand.
does.
Like
They
they're not
don't.
making as much. I may not be making
They
as much
don't.
either. Like
yeah, like
That's why
Let
a
them
lot
move back
of
in the house.
going back home. Yeah.
But see, we got
They
two different. We
refuse.
kind of got two different things going on. I think that the two of you could really touch on because, like you said, you've been laid off twice in 2 years.
in 2 years.
Now, see, young you being laid off would have been like,
yeah, whatever.
well, how did
Because I
older
could turn-
you?
I was the first time I was unemployed, probably 2 months. So God helped me out on that one because right when they had laid everyone off, I was at the point because I was working remote. And I said, I'm gonna get me a second job. I was gonna be one of those remote workers that had 2 jobs and clearing well over 6 figures. That was my goal. And I had picked up another job. And so I was supposed to start it the month after I got laid off. So my transition was easy because I had just started the second job and they were like, oh yeah, thanks guys. We were like, what? So then I was left with nothing. I think I was able to sustain because I was doing some work for you and unemployment aid. Yeah, that was right in the middle of me decorating.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I was
that
like,
was
were you?
right in the middle of me decorating. So that was the blessing that I was able to sustain 7 months unemployed because I was applying.
I remember how frustrated you were.
Oh my gosh, because younger me, or not even younger me, I want to say a couple of years ago, we could bounce jobs. Like it was not a problem getting a job. But because of tech and everyone wanting to get into tech, the market has become severely saturated. So the skills that I've had, now I have 1,000 more people competing for the same position that early on I would have been able to get with no problem. So it was just stressful. And then applying online through the regular means of trying to gain employment wasn't enough. I received a job through somebody I know. I had to start going outside of online to people like, hey, do you know anyone that's hiring? Hey, do you know anyone that's hiring? And that was the only way I was able to get a job. And it was actually the job I got laid off for. It was someone on my team. I was his boss. Oh, wow. And it was a couple of people that were on my team, and they found out I was unemployed, and like 4 of them started going hard trying to go to their employers like, she was a good boss, blah, blah, blah. Do we have anything for her? And one of them hit, and he was like, listen, come over here, interview. And I interview, and they'd be like, yeah, we're going to bring you on board. I was like, thank you, Jesus. But just going the conventional way to gain a job wasn't enough. And even my job now is a contract position. Contract positions can end at any time. So I still don't have a permanent employment situation. I'm still like, Lord, what am I about to do? Which is why I'm trying to go so hard outside of trying to do serial entrepreneurship, something else, because I don't even know how long this is going to last. They renew it every 6 months. They may figure the next 6 months, you know what, we don't need her. And then I'm back to square one. It's like, oh my gosh. And I've still been actively placing resumes out there for a year and a half, and I haven't gotten any hits in a year and a half. And I don't know if it's a ageism thing. I don't want to believe that, but I believe that. You know, so they tell us to tailor back some things on our resume to not show your age, because I have plenty of experience. And I'm like, why is no one calling me? It's just, it's scary.
How do you prepare for every 6 months knowing that you don't know if you'll have a job or not? Do you do anything now, or any tools or tips you can?
I'm not prepared. No, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not prepared because I'm still trying to help my kids. I'm still trying to catch up on past due. When I was laid off, I got behind on all of my bills. And so I'm still trying to play catch up with all of that. And I'm just like, oh gosh, no, I don't know what the hell I would do. I'm like, Lord, you got me through. He gets me through. And that's why I just have to keep having faith and just keep trying to figure out another way to make more money, because
One thing I will suggest is I use the company called Budget Besties, and actually found them on a podcast, and they helped me create a budget. And so my income fluctuates every month. Like, I don't know, it could be high, it could be low. And so she helped me set up a budget to where I know my basic bills are paid every month, because I know the minimum that I'll get is this amount. And then anything over that is going to go this bucket here, this bucket there. I can have social spending, my glam account, and all that stuff. So that really helped me out. So now I'm like a month ahead on all my bills. Oh, that's I used to do that when I was younger, when I had all the money. And then I got really far behind, but now I'm a month ahead. So I know if something happens, like I'm not contracted. Luckily, I'm in a really good season right now. Like, I have too much work. I need to probably turn stuff down. So I'm like, now that I'm in this season, let me take care of stuff in the future. So if something else happens, a couple months down the line, I know I got at least a month in the bank where I'm good. I just got to catch back up. Yes, I will recommend budgeting if you can. And it doesn't even matter how much. You don't have to make a lot of money to budget. Everybody, I think, needs to budget.
Yeah, but that's why I contemplated selling my house. I was like, you know what? Let me just sell and get this money, and then just rent and pay all these people off, have, some savings, invest in some things. But hell, rent.
Oh, rent is higher than your mortgage.
It's higher than my mortgage. And I was like,
it is.
No.
Yeah.
And then I'm not in a position to refinance because my credit is shot from me losing job and getting behind on my payments.
You got late payments.
They're like, yeah, we're not. And I'm like, what is the purpose of having a house if you get in a situation
and can't use it?
I can't use, it's an asset to me, but I can't utilize it. But then I told you someone did say, okay, yeah, we'll let you pull some money out.
But then they wanted
$30,000 out.
And they wanted so much of it or something.
Well, no, I could pull the $30,000 out, but my mortgage was going to increase by $900. And then after closing, I was only going to walk away with $15,000. I was like,
that makes any sense.
That don't make sense for me. It's like you're trying to put me in a more jacked up situation. So I'm like,
But a lot of that predatory.
Yeah, like,
because people are so desperate, they only see that immediate fix.
Yeah, and I was like, damn that. I'll try to work on my credit and keep trying to save and just No,
Side
it's
hustles,
just
all that
it's
stuff,
just it's terrible.
Wow.
But I do know at the end of the day, my house is an asset, and where I chose to live, I have plenty of equity in it, and it just keeps growing. So if my back was ever against the wall, it's go ahead and sell, and you'll be able to walk away with some money and come sleep on somebody's floor.
When we went out of the country, we went to Costa Rica. It cost like $500,000.
I can live real good. But that's my backup plan at this point. If I have to, I just have to sell my house.
Oh my goodness.
Honestly, that's mine.
Now, from the opposite side, I'm switching back over here to you because now you're preparing for retirement in this economy.
Right.
She's all good. Like what?
How do you prepare? What have you? Some of the things you're doing to prepare.
Our house is paid off, which is a blessing.
Yeah.
I just did my due diligence, to be honest.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? It was different, but I just did my due diligence. I don't even know where I learned it from. Well, no, I got it from my mom, because to be honest, my mom didn't have a lot, but she had a lot. And so I learned from a real early age with her, it really doesn't matter how much money you have. It's really what you do with it.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I really don't know how she did it. But she used to bartend and make a lot of tips. And that lady used to take them quarters and that change and that stuff. And she just did a lot. So I learned, and you don't even realize this when you're a kid, you know?
You become your mother.
You become your parents, because she always made something out of nothing. And I mean, that's a slang language that we say all the time, but like truthfully, she did. And so I really learned that trait with her. And I used to always say I'm cheap. And I'm like, no, I'm really not cheap. I'm a bit frugal, smart. And I pay attention to like finances and everything. So just at a very young age, like at 22, I started, the pension and the 401s, and it never came out of it, and even when I bought my house, I was like, okay, I'm not doing a 30-year plan. I'm doing a 15-year plan. And then when I do that 15-year plan, because I don't like bills and credit, because when we were young, we were evicted. I was young. I had trauma, and we were put out, like literally just put out, and had to figure out where we were going to go. Yeah, and that's no shade to my mom. It's just where we were at the time, and I was devastated. And I had a baby with me. And I just swore that would never happen again. And in all my life of working, there was only one time when I didn't know my rent was going to come from, once. And I borrowed that from a friend Carly's, who gave it, I paid her back. But some of the most traumatic experiences shaped me and how I think about money and the things that I do. And I just had a child, and I swore I would never be in a position where she didn't have somewhere to lay her head. And so I just managed different.
Well, it seems like you learned early on.
I learned early. I watched my mom, and then I was just so young, but I paid attention out of bad things happening. It wasn't like somebody taught me, so to speak. I just said, what are the things that I do so that this doesn't happen to me, right? And then, but we look at the economy today, right? These young folks don't have a chance. So like, we really have to extend grace to them. So like when you say, my kids call me and they want 20 and whatever, and I know, like you said, but they got to understand the economy's bad for you too. Yeah. And it is. It is. But they're still our children. Yeah.
So we see what they're buying sometimes too.
Well, now, but that's a difference, right?
Now you have $20 for gas.
Well, no. So you're right. You still have to have discernment, because every single one is different. Like you can look and you can see, okay, everybody's different. But at the end of the day, now, these kids have a lot of sense of entitlement these days. So it's a lot going on that we have to pay attention to. But at the end of the day, this economy, I don't know how they're doing it. Like for real, it is not set up to support them. And I could really understand anger. I could see why they're angry because think about it, a house right now. 260, 300.
They're not even that. They start up, but not.
Wage, but some of these, like I see younger kids living in neighborhoods like these $800,000 houses. I'm like, what the year?
And see, my opinion is actually a little.
But that's all they're offered. They don't have houses at a certain rate anymore, so you kind of have to start at a certain.
I'm saying you had to have the income to show that you can afford this house. So I'm like, or
not, because like with
the predatory lending thing.
Well, there's that, but then there's also where you make this, and I'm not for it or against it. I'm gonna just say that, right? But what I'm saying is they'll look at a base income, and everything else is not considered,
right?
And then they say, okay, you qualify for this size house, and these people get in these houses and they can't afford them, but they can't keep it. But honestly, depending on where you live and all of the factors that go behind it. That's the setup. The setup is to give you the loan because we know you're not going to be able to keep it, and we're just going to get it back anyway.
That's terrible.
I mean,
know my mortgage just went up $300. And I said, what?
Mine just went up, and I was like, when I
insurance,
inquired about
taxes,
it, but when you call the county said, well, we haven't even put the tax out for the year yet, because I called the county because they said that my taxes had gone up, and I wanted to make sure I hadn't missed
like, wait now, what's
did I miss something? Right. Did I pay my taxes? Because it's an escrow, but they took care of that. Right? So I called for that reason. And I said, well, I was called because, when my taxes have gone up, she said, well, we haven't even put the taxes out for the year. She said, a lot of times your mortgage company will anticipate
what's coming
what the
up.
taxes will anticipate because the taxes ain't even out yet.
But then my homeowner's insurance doubled from last year.
Double? Oh, God.
It doubled.
How it doubled?
Because of the housing market, the houses being so high, everybody's
so the
price
went
up.
Cost more to cut.
Probably. It's getting ridiculous.
So they're basing it on the value of your house. Everybody's value really has gone up. So they're basing your taxes and everything on the value of your home.
That's why I say, then I'll be able to sell this sucker for a pretty penny then.
But then where you go, because if you rent, it's going to cost more.
I know.
If you can't buy something else,
and if you buy something else, it's going to cost even more.
I've been talking to you about it, and you're like, just sit still and be quiet.
Just sit still for a minute. You'll know when it's time to move.
I don't know what to do. This is just.
But don't make a rash decision, because then that's how you get caught up in that predatory stuff.
Yeah.
And everything.
I'm not even trying to pull nothing from nobody anymore. I ain't worried about it.
I don't know that this is going to change. There was a time when we thought, just ride it out and it's going to go down and everything's. I don't know.
It is cyclical though. It goes up and down.
It is cyclical, but at the same time,
it's taking longer for those cycles.
Right. At the same time, this reminds me of when the stock market crashed, and I learned this from some rich folks. When I started looking into investing money, people were. I learned this from an investor. He said, "I always know true investors and people that are not what they consider a real investor." He said, "Because a real investor could care less how the market is doing."
Yeah, you just ride it out.
No. He said, "You don't ride it. You don't ride it out." A real investor makes money no matter if the market goes up or down. It don't matter. It don't matter what the market is doing. We were trained to be poor. That's the difference. We were trained to be poor. When one thing you don't and realize in the market, remember when everyone was losing their 401ks? Because people told them to ride it out. Why? Why? You should have cashed that money out the moment that thing started dropping. Because you were losing your money. But a real investor, and this is what I learned with money, these are all my investing classes and all that kind of stuff. A real investor makes money whether the market goes up or the market goes down. So are you familiar with you buy a stock, right? So we're told to buy low, sell high, right? Because now that difference between what you bought it for and what you sold it for makes money, right? Now listen to this. Did you know you can sell first before you buy it?
What? No.
Everything is digital.
Right.
Do you ever actually take possession of a stock in your hand? So who said you had to buy it first?
How can I sell something?
Wait a minute, that you don't have.
It's nothing but digital. It's just digital.
So you finagling something?
You can sell a stock, watch it drop, and then buy it. Do you get the same spread?
You say it again. You
I
can
don't
sell it.
know nothing about this. I'm getting confused.
Which is
Feeling
why
special.
we have been trained
You have to
to
own
be
it first, right?
broke.
I would think
no.
you have to own. How you selling
You
something
don't,
you don't own?
you don't have to own it first because you never take possession of it. You
That's
never
like,
take
well, let me
possession
sell your
of
car
it.
that I
It's
never took
digital.
possession of later.
It's
Hey,
digital.
you want to buy this house? I don't own it, but I'm gonna sell it to you.
Yeah, that doesn't
No,
make
no,
sense
that's
to me.
that's a physical product.
But
That's a-
digitally, you can
that's a physical
manipulate
product.
it to do
So can I buy
that.
some
Okay,
crypto?
okay.
Because I'm so confused. We need to
Okay,
buy
okay.
Yeah, because I'm thinking
You
different.
can sell
Like over the
first
years,
and
I
buy
never touched
later. You
anything.
can buy first and sell later. You never take possession. It's just it's digital. If
Are
that
you
makes
putting
sense.
It don't. Are you putting a down payment on it?
No, I'm not talking about a house.
No, I'm talking
I'ma
about
buy a
stock. I'm still
It's a
talking
lay-
about
it's a
buying-
I'm
layaway.
gonna buy a stock.
I'm about stock on layaway.
I'm gonna buy a
So
stock.
you
And
are
I'm telling
buying
you
it.
this
You
because
are
I've done
buying
it
it. You are
personally. I know that you can do this. I learned this
But you said you're going to buy it.
I want to buy this stock right now is super high.
Uh-huh.
And this is why I say a real investor could care less how the market is doing because a real investor is going to make money whether the market goes up, it goes down, or whether it stays the same. There's calls, there's puts, there's the bull market, there's the bear market. That's learning the market. When there's parameters that you can set, let's say the market never moves. You can set a parameter that says here and here while the market is here in the middle. And as long as it stays here in the middle between these two parameters, I make money. That's the stock market. You can set a parameter that says, oh my God, this stock is so high. It's anticipated to drop. So guess what? I'm going to sell it up here high because remember, I don't take possession of it. And then it drops and now I'm going to buy it. Do I still get the spread?
I understand. So you're saying it's digitized, so whenever these things happen, it's
Yeah.
already set up to do that. I'm not
Yes.
physically going in.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
I'm
don't
buying
own
it.
it. It's
Okay,
not
I
that
don't
makes more
own it
sense.
yet. I don't own, you don't have to, because you're never, it's not like this fan that you have to actually give me
Tangible.
the fan. It's not tangible. It's
And it's
digital.
automated.
It's automated.
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
digital.
automated makes more
is a
sense.
better word.
Yeah, because you're like, I'm going to sell it before I
Like,
even
what?
buy it. I'm like,
So you set
But
up
that's
an
what you're
automation.
doing.
you do, but it's automated.
No,
Like, that
but I
makes
can
sense.
put, I can, you have to know, you have to read the calendar, the candlesticks and all that kind of thing. This is where you're anticipating where the market goes. So if the market, as you're anticipating that the market is going to drop, you will sell it first because you're going to sell it at a high price.
And you set that price.
But no, the price is already there.
In between.
This
Well,
is,
well, they
this
set
is
the
the
price where
current
it
price
drops?
where you bought it. This is the current price where you bought it. I'm anticipating that the market is going to drop. When it hits this point right here, buy it. You still, and there's still spread.
Okay. Yeah, okay, I'm with you.
You just sold it first.
Yeah.
Now, but we've been trained, which is why a lot of people lost their 401ks. They already owned it here. They should have cashed out and held it, right, while it crashed, right? Or now that you own it here, you can sit on it. You can wait for the market to go back up. Because did the market come back up? You just said it's cyclical, right?
Yeah.
It's a cycle. It's going to come back up. Why would you let your money crash? Because they told you, hold it, hold it, hold it. Who told you that? Because they didn't hold theirs. They cashed that money out, held it until that market started to turn back up. And then they bought it low and they sold it high. But when the market started to go down, they sold it and then bought it when it hit low. Is it the same spread?
Yeah.
Same spread. Don't matter which way the market
That
goes.
sounds like another class or conference. Sure, we need to set up.
I'm telling you, it doesn't matter.
And you know how long I've done it, and I didn't lose but I had people who did my
people
Right,
who do
you're right. You
for
have
me.
someone that does
so
it for
they was
you.
like, no, because I wanted to pull out, but they was like, no, hold it. So that's what I was talking about. Not that whole thing you were saying, but they was like, no, don't touch your stock, leave it alone. But they invested it and did all the numbers and stuff. I don't know what they do, but I know I never lost over the years.
And so that's why I said my view of how do you survive in this market. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's gonna be the most millionaires ever made while Donald Trump is in office. This is gonna be this is the boom of millionaires. First of all, let's just keep it 100. And this is gonna be controversial. This is gonna be controversial. In my opinion, I'm not saying Donald Trump is racist or not racist, because you got that over the place. But what I can tell you is he's elitist. He's for the rich. So the things that he is setting in place are to protect people with money, to help you get more money. What you got to do is figure out how you get in that line. And the one thing I can say, even though it's tough for young people nowadays, it's easier for young people nowadays. You have more young millionaires. You have young millionaires under 30 because they have options that we did not have then. And you have even people our age. How many digital content creators are our age now? She's just showing her fashion. She's 75 and she owned it. She got 1 million followers. You have options. One thing I think about us, we get set in our ways because we don't know, and a lot of us are not willing to learn other ways, or we are used to doing things out of habit because this is the way we've always done it. We don't change and evolve with the times.
You talk about that a lot, pivoting. You have to
Yes, you got to be. There's
a lot of people who
got to
they're
pivot.
stuck in their ways.
This is the age of millionaires right now, which is why you see. Which is they got an $800,000 house.
I would really like to know I would really like to know the numbers because you're saying that, but we say a lot. Like people say a lot, and they're on social media saying what they have, and they in debt, sleeping in cars. Not everybody, Lord, don't.
Oh no, it's a lot of fake folks.
While we say that, I would like to see. I would just like to really understand that and know it and say it. You know what I mean? Like how we were saying that the age group, from which you could tell, of the people that watch our show is not the 40 plus. It's really
but that's the analytics. There you go.
The analytics. So like while you say that and I hear you, it's like how true is that really? Like I want to know that. Yeah, because I kind of want to know that. Yeah,
I've looked at it.
But think about you. Do you go on YouTube and watch videos all day? Younger kids, they go and they watch videos all day.
No, I get it.
So
I get it, and I understand the numbers and the analytics too. But
it's the numbers, and I'm gonna bring. I hate that I didn't think that because I didn't know we were going down this path.
We love y'all for watching it.
Right.
Thank you.
That I would have had the numbers, but I just think that there's so many more options for them to do. They ain't gotta leave home.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to be funny. I don't have, even right now, I don't have to leave my house. When I leave my house, I lose money. When I leave home, my money is sitting right around the corner
in the computer.
You know what I'm saying? On that desk, on that computer. That's where my money's at. And so a lot of young people, I just think there are a lot of options. So the economy is hard, but they're learning how to make money. You know how many young people are in real estate right now? We were so happy to own our one little house that we live in, which is a liability and not an asset. You know what I'm saying? Like they're learning how to
Airbnbs
do these things. Right. It's a lot of young people.
But all of that
Airbnbs.
is starting to crash too.
Well, that's because the market is crashing. But I'm gonna tell you one thing is never gonna crash. People always gotta have somewhere to live. People always gonna have to eat. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're in now, you may not. Maybe the luxury market is going to get hit worse or whatever. But guess what? It's so much of a need for low income housing. Now, whether or not we're going to have a government organization anymore about low income housing, I don't know. But that ain't going to take the fact away that there's going to be a lot of people that need a place to live. So you have a lot of people in real estate. But I just think we just get so set as being older. We were taught the 9 to 5. We were taught to go get a job. We were taught to stay there for forever, and we have not diversified. Because we relied on our 401ks, we relied on our pensions, we relied on all those things, and then the government came in and started wiping that out for a lot of people, and a lot of people, especially our age, I don't want to learn no new skill.
There's not a such thing as
get a new job. You know what I'm saying? But in this day and time, you got to pivot. And you have to learn to diversify. I have my hands in so many hats right now. I'm all over the place. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't got a handle on none of them.
I was like, you gotta get.
I gotta do this. I gotta do that. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. Yeah. Why? Because I've been an entrepreneur for 20 something years. There is no 401k. Right? I can't say I retired today and there's a 401k sitting right here. If you are an entrepreneur, you need to start getting your Roth, especially at a young age. Start putting that money away for a Roth. You got to start creating your own 401ks. They do now have 401ks for
like they ain't even good.
Your insurance. your health insurance.
Self-employed.
You got to learn how to pivot. And if you don't do nothing else, you got to learn how to diversify. Look how people lost their freaking mind. What was that went down for one day?
TikTok.
Was it TikTok or
TikTok.
Instagram? Or
It was TikTok.
TikTok.
Went down for one freaking day.
Yeah,
You see them
funerals
people
online.
was losing their
Because a
mind.
lot of people get
Were,
paid off of
because that's how
TikTok
they were making
too.
their money.
But guess what?
Yeah.
TikTok wasn't here 10 years ago. TikTok might not be here 10 years from now.
Exactly.
So
Look,
you need
MySpace
to make
should be
your
here.
money from TikTok now.
Pivot.
You need to be making your money from TikTok now, but what you doing with that money?
Yeah.
Right, is what counts.
Money's
Because when that's not here anymore, whatever the next best thing is, you need to be trying to figure out how to make that money
ahead of
make
the
money.
game.
That's the thing.
And not spend it as you get it. And that's the
problem.
that's the
Yeah.
other thing that we're talking about. Yeah, there's a lot of whatever. So I guess they're millionaires because they bring the millions in, but they're not really millionaires because these folks don't know how to save their money.
Yeah.
You get what I'm
Spend it
saying?
out.
Like they don't
You might be a
invest.
millionaire on
They
paper,
don't
but
on
you
paper,
spending
but
it out.
they don't know how to invest their money to the point that you was talking about. They can't even buy an insurance policy. They get sick. They land up somewhere. But I'm a millionaire. You know, like all of these things just happen and it just doesn't make sense. So like, just I'm not caught up in the hype. I'm not caught up in the hype. So I would like to see that just because I'm like, that sounds good. And it may be true. I'm not like negating the young people out there and saying that that's not happening.
But there are more young
we have to
millionaires
be
today.
very careful. Like we have to learn and understand, especially for the younger generation, now that you're bringing it in, what do you get it? You know, because I see your Audi.
Right.
You know what I
spending
mean? And
all
I
of it,
see
yeah.
your nice
You
cars,
don't
and I
look like a
see you at the
millionaire.
club throwing millions of dollars on, but like,
That's why you
Do
see
something else
athletes
with
are
it.
broke. They got all those millions of dollars because it's a millionaire mindset. You can give a broke man all the money in the world if he don't know what to do with it. He's still gonna
the
be
lotto
broke.
is a good example.
Yeah.
And I ain't trying to be funny. Look, I've had money in my life. I've been broke right behind it. I had a little money before. I've been broke right behind it again. And I just Jesus. I'm learning
figure it
lessons.
out.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I'm learning.
Yeah.
Lord,
Trying to
just
teach it.
when you decide you're going to bless me with that real big one the next time,
I'm hungry.
please
I'ma be
I'm
ready.
ready for you this time. Now it took
I'ma
me
be
55
ready.
years to get you,
I'm at least enjoy some of
but
it.
I'm ready for you this time because you didn't know.
The financial literacy.
Right, that financial literacy you didn't
Yeah.
know. So that's why I say in this economy is tough and it's hard. But one, you have got to learn how to pivot.
Yeah.
You got to learn how to pivot.
I agree with that.
And you have to learn how to diversify because guess what? People gonna stop traveling, y'all. Would you-
Oh yeah, they are. I'm gonna be good, but they are.
Right. But my travel business is my life.
Yeah.
So why you think I'm doing all these different
Can't
things?
just do one thing, yeah.
Yeah.
I ain't doing it because I like running around. I'm
Right.
doing it so when this goes
Secure
down,
another bag.
Yeah.
because when you
secure
can't
the
afford to
bags.
live, you ain't trying to travel.
Baby, you
That's
Hello?
true. That's true.
So what happens when my travel business goes down? You better have
your real
something
estate.
else. You better have something else. You can't wait till it crash and then try to figure out what to do. Because now I'm in turmoil. So yeah, I'm buying some properties. Yeah, let me build some houses and put some people in it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, let me look at the stock market, whether it goes up or it goes down. I need to know how to make money no matter which direction
Yep.
that stock market goes. That's why I study. That's why I read. That's why I took so many people classes. It's absolutely absurd. And one of the best things that ever happened was years ago, I took Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. He has people all over the country that teaches different things about investing. This frail looking older white man walked in. He looked all scruffy and everything. The class was full and it looked like a lot of people that looked like us were in the class. And the gentleman walked in and we was like, oh, is that the instructor? Because we judged him by how he looked.
Yeah.
That man
He
had
didn't
way
look
more.
rich
If you
as
added
people.
all our
Yeah.
stuff
Driving the
together,
Corollas,
Yep.
the Prius.
Made a
we
rich
didn't have
people.
half. If you added all of us together, we didn't have a third. And he said, I make a couple $100,000 a month. Who? Because he looked scruffy, everything. And what he did was, and this was at the time when he projected it up on the thing, he typed in whatever on the computer and it showed up on the screen. And he opened one of his checking accounts. And all he said was, I make a couple $100,000 a month. See, now we're looking at numbers on the screen.
Like, what?
And we're like, okay, I guess he's
I'm
for
listening
real.
now.
Yeah.
I guess he for real. So he said, you know, when I started investing in real estate, he said he made $200 and something thousand a year. He said, and I was in debt. I still lived paycheck to paycheck. Because we think, oh, you make six figures. Mm-hmm. Six figures ain't the same no more. He said, why? He said, because my house got bigger.
Yep.
My cars got more expensive. Mm-hmm. My wife needed an expensive car. The kids are now in private school. Mm-hmm. You know, so I didn't make $200,000 and maintain that same level that I had when I was broke. My expenses went up. Yep. So I'm still living paycheck to paycheck. But he said, what I had was good credit. So we're going to talk about your credit. What I had was good credit. So I was able to get a line of credit. So he took the line of credit, $100,000, and he learned how to invest his $100,000. He said, and at the time, my monthly payment was like $400, $500, let's say $500 a month. He said, now I make a couple $100,000 a month. He said, now what do you think I did with that $100,000 loan?
He put it in the stock market, didn't he?
No, he got a bill he got to pay that $100,000 back. He made a couple $100,000 a month. And most people was like, oh shoot, he was able to pay that off real quick. He said, I will never pay them back.
What?
I will every month pay $500 a month until it's paid off. I will never give you that lump sum.
So that helps keep your credit going too.
Well, one of the reasons why he did it, he said, and I promise you, this scruffy man, he said, and that's why y'all broke. He was like, I know he. Okay, yeah, he right. Let me hear what he got to say. He said, because if I took $100,000, because I could pay them $100,000 right now to pay that loan off, but that $100,000, he could still pay $100,000 and go make another $300,000 and $400,000 over here with that same $100,000 he was gonna pay back. He said, I will forever pay them $500 a month. I will never give you $100,000 in a lump. I don't care if I make $1 million a month. That $100,000 is going to roll over 10 times by the time I give you
all that money back.
That lump sum of money back. He said it's a mindset. We are taught to be broke. We're taught to hold it forever while you watch it crash because somebody told you to hold it. He said, but the rich people didn't hold theirs. They didn't lose a lot. They cashed it out, froze for a minute. When it moved again, then they put it back in. But we were taught to hold it. You got to learn financial literacy. Absolutely. And you got to learn how to pivot, and you have to learn how to diversify.
So where do you get that information from, Blake?
We're going to get us some.
We're going to set up some workshops.
Yeah, that's a whole class by itself.
Insurance 101, we've always did financial literacy.
Investing, all that, yeah.
Yes.
Because like y'all say, you can't, if you have it, you need to enjoy it with everybody. You want to bring everybody else with you. So
that's,
it's no fun.
And then that's another thing. You got to learn that you can't bring everybody with you. Everybody can't come on the ride. But look, y'all got my blood pressure up there. Y'all know y'all get to talk about
money. Yeah, y'all get excited. Look.
I get excited. I'm always looking to better myself and to learn. And I would love to, you do things as a group and do things as a whole. Because, like we always say, it ain't no fun.
Being only one.
You don't want to be the only one. You want to bring your friends with you, your circle with you. But you have to also realize you can't bring everybody. But anyway, we can sit here and talk about this forever, y'all. I'm glad y'all good for now.
But we about to sign up for this class, though.
For Stephanie.
Yes.
But she gonna
we about to be rich.
She gonna diversify and pivot as well. But anyway, this is like we're talking.
This is Stephanie.
This is Ivania.
And we're going to keep on spilling the tea on your money, honey. One
laugh at a time.